All right, he's just left the Trump Tower. He's back in his New York studios. The walls festooned with 9 political campaigns regalia and 3 White Houses he worked in, including the Nixon and, of course, Ronald Reagan White House. And he said it earlier today when he popped in with us, he's never been more proud or energized by the history that's taking place. I'd say seismically what Trump's doing is 10 times what Reagan did if he delivers. And he's delivering so far, taking Boeing to the woodshed about double charging for a plane, bringing back Carrier, bringing in $50 billion from Japan to build advanced technology in the U.S., Ford announcing multiple plants coming back. And, of course, he's got several guests coming on. Just in closing, as I hand the baton to him, James O'Keefe's come out and said the media is dead. We killed it. BuzzFeed says white people are the plague to the planet. But that's not going to be banned because it's race baiting, it's racial division. But if you expose a Islamicist that murders a woman in Germany, it's on the German news, and you show it, that's hate speech for showing a German news article. That's banned. So that's the new banning that they're talking about, the new program, and it's up on Infowars.com, an article by Paul Watson and myself that needs to go mega viral. The real fake news list has been released, the ultimate fake news list, and we have a petition and a sign up for alerts on free speech, and we're launching a major initiative to protest in New York at CNN. I can now announce that. Roger can speak to it and then go to his guest. And we're also going to be, I'm going to be delivering, when it's hundreds of thousands, which should only take a few days, but 40,000 sign up just in the last few hours, delivering that by hand to Trump Tower and to Congress, and just pointing out that we don't want to be censored and have a new blacklist. In other words, credit the Guardian and others have said this is horrible, this is fascism. Roger, I know you've got a bunch of guests lined up and a lot, so you were a bit late getting in the cockpit because you were coming back from important work at Trump Tower, obviously, but I'll hand the baton to you, my friend. Take over.
Thank you very much, Alex, and thank you for letting me sit in here today. You accurately said I just rushed back from the tower. I had the high privilege of seeing the president-elect again yesterday, Trump Tower, for a short period of time. And as I told you yesterday, although I don't divulge the contents of those private conversations, I can tell you he is upbeat, optimistic, having the time of his life, working the phones like Lyndon Johnson, business leaders, civic leaders, reaching out to people not in his coalition like Al Gore, Al Sharpton.
Sure, for 40 years, there's been a signal to not build here in America. That signal's now reversing, and it's dramatic.
Yeah, I think the message here is simple. America is open for business again. Trump is going to trim taxes and trim regulations and trim all the bureaucratic red tape that has prevented, that has forced businesses to flee. This is not, as you know, the capitalists' plan. Their plan is to destroy the U.S. job market and bring us to our knees. And they almost succeeded, but for a guy named Donald John Trump. We are a lot to cover here. First of all, as I came down from the tower and the elevators opened, I was assaulted by a gaggle of reporters, and they all wanted to know what we discussed. And I told them honestly that I had told my book, The Making of the President 2016, how Donald Trump orchestrated an American revolution and proved the mainstream media wrong. Quite excited about the book. And I was asked immediately about Pizzagate. Now, in all honesty, I have been immersed in trying to finish a manuscript for a book. I'm not all that familiar with Pizzagate. I have never tweeted on it from my personal server, my personal Twitter feed, or my personal Facebook page, because it's not something motivating me at this moment. Some of the Stone Cold Truth authors, like St. John Hunt and others, have been looking into it. It does appear that code words that the FBI has said previously are used in pedophilic rings were being used in some emails. That's about what I know. But that didn't stop some gentleman in Washington, D.C. For claiming that I endangered the life of his 3 children because of my proselytizing on this issue, I guess. So if you want fake news, there's some fake news for you. I then went down to the 14th floor of the transition, and I can tell you that there is an armada of retreads from the old Republican Party, both the congressional wing of the party and the Romney, McCain, Bush burnouts who are trying to board this ship. I saw people and heard about people whose names I haven't heard in 25 to 30 years. These are people who did nothing whatsoever to elect Donald Trump. And they're people who don't share Donald Trump's values. They disagree with him on trade. They disagree with him on monetary policy. They disagree with him on immigration. Yet they seek glory and titles. And then you have kind of a jockeying among the billionaires who some of whom were financially supportive, a small handful of Donald's personal friends, but by and large, this campaign was not funded with fat cap money. This was funded with small donations. And therefore, there's not a long line of billionaires waiting for government positions. I think merit is going to play some role in Donald Trump's final decisions, but I have seen this co-option of the revolution once before. And it was when Ronald Reagan was elected. I was in the transition. And then suddenly the Bushite boarding party showed up in force. We found people like Malcolm Baldrige, a Yale classmate of Poppy's, George H.W. Bush, as our commerce secretary. Jim Baker, a friend of mine, a very capable man, a guy who has certainly aided my career when he got President Ronald Reagan to endorse Governor Tom Kean, then candidate for Governor Tom Kean in New Jersey, but nonetheless, a globalist, a Bushite. That's the fact. So Trump must resist this armada. Now, I heard that Sean Spicer from the Republican National Committee was going to be the press secretary for the president. And I find this perplexing because I remember when Mr. Spicer said publicly, I believe it was in September, that if candidate Trump does not improve his polling numbers, well, then the Republican National Committee would withdraw its support. This is extraordinary because the Republican National Chairman serves at the pleasure of the nominee for president. It has always been thus. Reince Priebus is the first national chairman who lost an election in the ignominious defeat of Mitt Romney to be retained for 4 more years. Unheard of, rewarding failure. Yet, Spicer was never chastised. The idea of the chairman pulling the rug out from under a presidential candidate, this is unheard of. Richard Nixon would roll in his grave.
My fellow InfoWarriors, I am very excited to be able to announce to you the introduction at InfoWarsLife.com of a new way to save time and money when you stock up on InfoWars Life formulations like Survival Shield X2 and Super Male Vitality. Just go to InfoWarsLife.com today, select your favorite product, click on Auto Ship before adding to cart, and choose how often you want us to send you another order. Every time you choose Auto Ship at InfoWarsLife.com, you get 10% off and you won't have to worry about running out and having to reorder next time. And of course, you can cancel with 1 click anytime. As you know, I'm all about the idea of a 360 win, and the new auto ship feature at InfoWarsLife.com is a sure win for everybody. A win for liberty, a win for health, and a win when it comes to big savings. Visit InfoWarsLife.com today and save 10% on your next InfoWars Life order by selecting auto ship at checkout. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call 888-253-3139.